Yeah. I don't want to say I'm a dummy, but, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm a dummy. I didn't do that right. No, I did. All right. So, yeah, we don't have a title card yet. I got to make one. Basically, what we're doing is we're rewatching episodes of Lucha Underground. Going to do a review on it, and then every so often we're going to do like a massive standalone podcast about Lucha Underground up until that point. I think every 12 episodes might be a solid way of going about things. I'm taking notes. That's a first for me. Marcus, did you watch Lucha Underground on Tubi whatever it is like I did?
Yeah, appreciate that recommendation because I sure was looking for it, and then I thought it was gonna be on Amazon Prime, which I have a thing for. I was like, oh no, they're gonna make you pay per episode. No.
No reason to do that when Tubi TV it has your hookup. Maybe it's not Scott Steiner, but I promise you it is a little bit finer. So here we are, Lucha Underground, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, man, it's been a while. I sure hope these first couple of weeks of shows don't suck. He said, knowing that God has forsaken him. Did Chavo ever win the Intercontinental title? Because I don't think he did. I think he won the U.S. title. I know he won the Cruiserweight title.
He won. Yeah, definitely won the Cruiserweight.
He won the Cruiserweight. I know he won the ECW. He won a bunch of tag team titles. Let's look. WWE Cruiserweight Tag Team and ECWs. No Intercontinental, no U.S. Championship, but we had 3 former major champions from the WWE debut on this card. Chavo, former Cruiserweight and ECW and Tag Team Champion. We had another ECW. We had 3 ECW champions debut on this card. I just realized that.
Yeah, Big Rick.
Yeah, Big Rick, Chavo, and Johnny Mundo. The opening match gave us Blue Demon Jr. and Chavo Guerrero. There was some panache that started the show, but we're going to skip over that, most because I don't remember it. I'm going to open up my notes because I actually do have notes, and I think notes would be helpful for this. Marcus, when getting into the chavito of it all, what did you think of his debut with Blue Demon? What did you think of the match? What did you think of the result and all that good jazz?
It was cool. This was my first time getting really, exposed to Blue Demon. It was cool to see him. I've never necessarily been riveted by Chavo on an individual level. I think the most I clicked with him was when he was with, Eddie, R.I.P. But this was cool to see. I mean, I think more so than anything, he definitely works better as a heel. So this worked and everything.
So the promotion actually starts in AAA. This is stuff that we saw before the match. I have notes. I'm bragging about the notes because I'm so happy. So that was kind of cool. I forgot about that. Vampiro references that people in the Lucha Libre scene don't like Dario Cueto because he's not Mexican, he's Spanish. So, Marcus, I got to ask you, ¿Qué pasa racist? Because that seems kind of racist to me.
¿Qué pasa Conan, man? It's whatever it needs to be whenever it needs to be.
Right. Vampiro, you goofy bastard, making racist comments like that. Or was it Conan who said that? No, it was Vampiro. It was definitely Vampiro. Dario Cueto says that Lucha Underground's not meant for kids. Boy, does he have that right, because we're going to have hearts getting ripped out of chests, people dying. It's awful and awesome. And just for a little bit of trivia sake, the first ever person to be seen in the ring for a Lucha Underground show was Melissa Santos. And as beautiful and vivacious as that woman is, I can never not unsee the tweet of her talking about her husband's penis. Well, she's ruined herself for me, Marcus. She has. She's ruined herself for me.
Do thick, thin, flaccid or not?
Well, she said that it needs to be its own casting mold, so, details. Blue Demon beats Chavo, and hopefully that chapter of our conversation has died a death. Conan and Cueto are talking in Cueto's office. It's Cueto's office's debut. And I just realized something. they have a window that looks outside.
Mm-hmm.
When the window actually just looks into the temple.
Yeah. That was. This was not a oh my god holy crap show from a wrestling perspective, but because we know where it's going, it's like this. The Cueto Office segments are some of the most memorable segments of the entire series.
So, you like the more televised film like format, I assume?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
you know me, the grandiose of it, the that gritty feel to it, uh telenovela style type stuff. I dig it, specifically when it's done well. Some people don't necessarily thrive in it, because I think this was definitely during a time where a lot of people were getting more used to this, because obviously this is a TV show featuring wrestling
And not a wrestling show on TV. Yes.
exactly. So, but this was always cool because Cueto was such a sniveling little weasel that projects confidence until, he has to sit down with somebody that's, Big Rick or somebody else. Or Conan, who's not going to take crap off anybody.
So I'm fine with some of these televised, or well, I guess we'll call them telenovela stylized segments, but I'm not a fan of them in wrestling. Like I'll watch me a soap opera, bet, but I don't know if I like it in my wrestling. I didn't like when Impact was doing the hidden camera and Impact 1000 or whatever the fuck they called it, where it's like, everything's a camera and it's always on. I like my wrestling to be a sport. I like to have like the locker room side, interviews and the ring side interviews and in the ring showdowns. Like, I like sport, so I like my wrestling to be sport. I'm just saying, I'm not that way necessarily with food. Like, I don't mind if my stuffing and mashed potatoes touch each other, but homie, if you put your green beans in my mashed potatoes and you make them into one thing, we are fighting.
Chad's like, what are you, a fucking child?
Right? I'm just like looking at you like, you fucking child. Why are you combining these things? No, for the last time, Ashton, with a fucking UE, corn dogs don't go in chocolate milkshakes. You 2-year-old.
Ashton.
So anyway, here's another thing I hated about this show. Hey, Johnny Mundo signed with our company. Who's that? John Morrison. And I'm just sitting here going, wait, this is how they debuted your biggest star in a throwaway conversation with Conan? Are you dense? Here's the thing I completely forgot. Johnny Mundo hadn't been wrestling for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about that.
He was doing something far more tedious for somebody of his nature. Acting.
Yeah, John Morrison acts about as well as John Laurinaitis does anything. Mrs. Bella, do you enjoy my penis? Penis power. Nikki, you need to apologize for those comments about China. She was a dear friend of mine. China power.
He'd be the worst phone sex operator. Because the whole time the girl be going, what?
That's right. I am going to spank your bottom with my white riding crop. And then when I am done, I will spit in your face, you dirty whore. People power.
You can't even be offended by it.
Oh, we need to do that as a bit. 10 worst jobs a pro wrestler could have. John Laurinaitis, sex phone operator. John Cena, diplomat.
No, Scott Steiner, suicide hotline.
No, Scott Steiner, weight loss coach.
Oh, God.
You want to know why no one likes you? Because you're fat.
Yeah.
You want to know why you can't fit in a plane? Because you got a fat ass. Stephanie McMahon, head of HR.
Oh, freaking
Ric Flair, financial consultant.
Josh Matthews, the new Bachelor.
Oh, God, I've never seen 25 women quit a show at the same time. And one of them was actually his wife.
She led the charge.
So, yeah, so they announced that Mundo's joining the show. Then we get, they debut a Prince Puma. Marcus, I consider myself an intelligent guy. Would you consider me an intelligent guy?
Yes, sir.
This show debuted in 2014. It's 2021. It's been 7 years. I just realized that Prince Puma was wearing a Jaguar mask.
Wait, what? Wait, wait, no, wait a minute. Like I know we literally punch Ricochet because he deserves it. But what did you think? What was the narrative when this was on?
Well, you have to understand, I know what a Puma looks like. They don't have spots.
Like Ricochet's not that bad looking of a guy, at all. But like, what did you think? I guess you just thought it was a regular lucha mask and never really paid attention.
I just thought it was stylized. Like I just thought it was like that's his symbols. Because again, I have to point out, Pumas don't have stripes or spots.
But you're not wrong. That's no, you're not wrong. Shout out to anybody who has worn Pumas. That's not a thing.
So like all this time, I'm like, all right. So it's just like dumb little like I don't know, like it may not make sense to you, but in my head there's a video game series called Metal Gear Solid, and they always have like these hexagonal kind of like half patterns for the like symbols that they use for like companies and shit like that. And I just thought it was like something like that. I didn't fucking realize it was supposed to be a Jaguar mask.
To be fair, I mean, to be fair, this is a larger conversation for more animal. If we had a little more like an animal themed show or whatever, but like there's always been some consistent confusion when it's come to the cat community.
Cat community.
Because like it's like there's tigers, there's jaguars, pumas, then you got lynx, then you got cheetahs. Like it's always. It kind of sometimes if they don't feel like people just lump stuff in like no, there's a difference between a jaguar, a cheetah, and a tiger, but sometimes they just don't give a damn and they just lump it in. I'm like, we know the difference. I hope.
So like, why couldn't we have called him like low-key leopard, or like Jack's Jaguar? Like, why did it have to be Prince Puma? If he's gonna wear a goddamn Jaguar man, like, this annoyed me for no one. Mostly because like it took me so long to realize it. I'm just like, oh, god damn it.
I don't think about it. Was Puma not supposed to be? Oh well, I mean, they said Prince Puma's spirit animal is the jaguar,
right? His name's Puma. Spirit's animal's a jaguar. Jaguar, Joker, Jaguar. You could have done. Just fucking Christ. Making him like a trickster, like a prankster, like a ha ha he he would have been awesome. For once, Ricochet would have had a personality.
Which also goes with the silent aesthetic because if he's not talking,
right? Speaking of people who shouldn't talk, Son of Havoc. I didn't get this when they were doing it. I still don't get it now. Matt Cross doesn't sound like Darth Vader mixed with I don't know. I had 1,000 names and they're just all gone.
Like he sounds like Darth Vader, but he looks mildly like a child of Opie.
He sounds like a combination of Jax Teller, no, Gemma, and Darth Vader. That's not how he sounds. I've heard Matt Cross talk. That's not how he sounds. Now, this was something that we talked about before when we were watching the show the first time. Like, well, it's dumb. So we get Son of Havoc, and he's facing off with the debuting. Everyone's debuting. It's the first goddamn show. Sexy Star. And Sexy Star had a line that just pissed me off to no end because it's completely just null and void. She's like talking about how she survived a domestic violence incident. Rosemary would understand that a few years later, but because Sexy Star tried to brutalize Rosemary and break her arm. By the by, did you hear Sexy Star had to have an emergency appendectomy?
No. Remind me in detail what that is again.
It's like one of the things a part of you that you don't actually need, but like it can get inflamed and infected. It's like that and the appendicitis, your appendix. Your appendix and your gallbladder you can live without. And those are like the two things that could be like, hey, I'm about to blow up. And you're like, oh, no, That sounds like a
That's
bad thing.
that's interesting because that could kill you.
Yes, especially if it ruptures, it'll get you. But luckily, the pain is so severe, you'd have to be an idiot not to know this bad. But so she's talking about how she survived her domestic violence and how she survived her eating disorder and all. And she goes on to say, I want every woman to know that they're a star. And then I kind of thought to myself, like, stars are only stars because they're rare. Do you not understand how that works? If everyone's a star, no one's a star. So, like, I hate dumb, quippy bullshit like that. It's just stupid. Then they do the match, and then he's like, hey, I'm not going to hit a woman. And then Sexy Star's like, all right, fair enough. He's the heel, she's the face. The face jumps the heel and cheap shots him. That's kind of dumb. Kind of dumb. Then Matt Cross and Son of Havoc ends up getting the win. Clean, fair and square. And then Matt Striker's like, oh, and Son of Havoc pulled the tights. I'm like, pulled the thigh maybe. Maybe caused this tights to ride a bit. But, like, I didn't see him grab the tights. Seemed like a clean win to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Marcus, did you see him pull the tights?
No, I didn't. I don't know if they were trying to make that kind of veer more off into how non-offensive he wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
With her, which kind of worked, but it was kind of like you said, because I mean she was a skirt, so
Yeah, it wasn't good. Dario then yells at Chavo, and he's like, hey, you couldn't beat Blue Demon in your first try. You kind of suck. So now because you failed the very first time, I'm going to have to go to such drastic measures and call in a dude whose name is the 1,000 Deaths just to get rid of Blue Demon because you fucked up so bad. And now that he's here, I can't do anything about it. And I'm sitting here going, wow, Dario Cueto is shit at his job. That's like someone saying, sir, we're out of shrimp on a cruise line, and then just going, abandon ship. I don't think you needed to go to that far extreme, homie. So Mil Muertes is coming in, and people are going to die. That takes us to the main event. Marcus, I can officially say with absolutely no fucking irony whatsoever, I don't care who likes this match. I found Johnny Mundo and Prince Puma every time they ever had this match to be boring as shit.
Which is hilarious that you bring that up because guess who had a match last night on Raw?
Let me guess, Johnny Mundo and Prince Puma. I'm sorry, Johnny Impact, Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, and Ricochet.
Yeah, and then the match
was it boring as fuck and long and unnecessary?
Capped off a lot of flippy stuff, a lot of as you would imagine. But the highlight came when Mundo was sitting on the barricade, and Ricochet proceeded to do a springboard crossbody to Morrison to the floor.
Yeah, that'll get people to tune into Raw.
Yeah, so that was I think it went to a no contest. So not like this match.
No, we got to finish.
Yeah, we got to finish, and this would, to their credit, be a narrative throughout the entire run of series, which I appreciated because these two evolved in their characters as the show went on. So this was kind of like they both came in as faces and just had a one-off, hell of a match to close the show, and the crowd loved it and whatnot. But at this stage, we've seen so many different versions of this, so.
Yeah, it's not great. This match was better in other promotions with other people. That's the best way I can put it. Post-match, we did get some cool shit, though. Let me see where the thing went. So we get Ricky Reyes and another dude who I never remembered. He dies at the hands of not Mil Muertes, Dario Cueto's brother. And Ezekiel Jackson walks in, and they beat up Mundo and Puma. And they're like, hey, we're a trio now. And I've been thinking the entire show, it would be a great trio? The Iconics and Tennille Dashwood. It would actually give her something to do. I think she would fit well with those two. I don't know what that has to do with Lucha Underground, but hey, we just did make an impact a few days ago, or yesterday, or a couple hours ago. months ago.
Even one, because I wish the promotion was still around because you just think about all these release names and the potentiality that they could have um, coming into that to just get a completely different character and the creative stream to do. They freaking brought Wade Barrett in the last season to be the boss.
Yep.
If I'm so, and that we didn't get the chance to see that really go anywhere. So I'm just thinking about like, man, all these names that could have been something like imagine somebody like Mickey James or some of these other women getting to breathe a completely different life as a performer in this type of environment. But it's all a dream.
But Marcus, I've got some bad news for you. One, this episode sucked. Two, the final champion in Lucha Underground history was Jake Strong, a.k.a. Jack Swagger.
Oh my God, that's right.
Suffer in your agony.
Suffering the succotash.
Suffering succotash. So, I completely forgot that Thunder Rosa was the last trio champion. With Daga and Sami Callihan. That's a hell of a trio. No lie.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, Marcus, any final thoughts on episode 1 of Lucha Underground?
No, I was just interested to go back and look at where it all started, man.
And we'll do more next week as we review episode 2. Keep in mind, we review these shows together, Making Impact and Lucha Look Back. Impact Wrestling's most recent episode, and Lucha Underground's previously episodes. We do them at the same time over at Wrestling Underground on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Wrestling Underground every Tuesday at 10-ish, depends on when we start. We also talk about wrestling news, so if you want to listen to the live stream and hear the entire show, all hour and 23 minutes of it, you can do so. Otherwise, this has been Lucha Look Back from Mark Strain. I'm Chad Pardo. Be sure to follow Marcus on Twitter at ParadoxKid, ParadoxKid.
That's the kid.
You can also find him on his. You can also find him on his other podcast, The True Penny Show, over at Twitter at True Penny Show, TruePennyShow. Nailed it. You can also find me on Twitter at Chad Nerdcorp, ChadNerdCRP, and on the Instagram at Chad's Photo Hut. Be sure to follow us at the website, RealNerdcorp.com, and on the website's Twitter, NERDCORP, for more wrestling goodness. For Marcus Green, I'm Chad Porter. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for giving us a chance. We're done with the Twitch stream and with this YouTube video. Marcus, say goodnight.
Good night, meat.